Hey, how are we doing? It's Ben from EQL Networks and Security. So today we're going to be looking at one of Hikvision's 4K ColorView fixed networked IP camera bullets. So if you're new to this channel and like what you see here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. If you have any other questions or comments, don't be afraid to hit us up in the comment sections below. So now let's get right into this. So the part number for this camera starts with a DS2CD. I can't remember the rest, so it's going to be listed here. So this is very similar to a model that we did earlier, and I think it's a DS2CD 2087G2. If not, it'll be listed here as well, which we've covered in another video. If you want to watch that video, it'll be linked in the description below. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our side-by-side comparison video that we're going to do with this camera. So now let's take a look at this camera a lot closer. So this camera is all metal apart from this plastic front cover and has a built-in white light LED. It is also IP67 rated. This too is one of the latest G2 series IP cameras and has the latest AI for detecting people or vehicles. This particular camera has a 2.8mm lens but is also available in 4mm and 6mm. It also has a 1.2 inch sensor with a wide dynamic range of 130 decibels and an aperture of 1.0. So this camera has been designed with the DORI specifications. So if you're not familiar with DORI, essentially that's a set of parameters that enables the camera to detect, observe, recognize, and identify at different distances. So according to the specs of this camera, it's able to detect at 96 meters, observe at 38 meters, recognize at 19 meters, and identify at 9 meters. It also has a white LED with a range of 60 meters and a built-in micro SD card slot, which takes up to 256 gig as backup. So the great thing about this is able to record directly to the camera instead of an NVR. So what we're going to do is we're going to test this camera outside, see what type of footage we get in day and night. So enough of this talking, let's just go see how this performs. Okay, so this is the daytime shot. So you can see here the image it's really crisp, it's sharp, the colors are great. This is a really brilliant picture. So what we'll do is we'll start doing basically like a walk test here, just to give you an indication of movement and what's actually happening and so forth. So, you know, there we go, we freeze it there. At that distance, you can kind of see where I'm walking, you know, exactly what's going on. You can see colors, like it's perfect, like it's a really sharp image there. Now on this next shot, I'm actually going to walk up to the camera. So the camera's about 4 meters away. If we freeze it there, you know, even though I'm wearing a mask, I'm sure you'll be able to make out more identifying features. You can even clearly see the lettering and the numbering on the jumper. So what I'll do is I'll just go and zoom in on the car on the left here. Now that number plate's probably about 10 meters away, I'd say. And then if we freeze it there, you know, you can make out the letters. You know, they're not super sharp, but they are sharp in comparison to, say, other cameras. Now we'll just have a look at the van. Zoom on there. Once again, clearly see what the numbers are, clearly see what the lettering is, or the number plate. So, you know, 8 megapixel camera, about 10 meters away, this is what you're going to expect. And then what we'll do is if we zoom into the middle, number plate. So this is just a made up sign, it's fake. You know, this is just basically just to give an indication, have another number plate at a further distance. But that distance there is probably about, you know, I'd say 15, 17 meters away. And at that distance, when you zoom in, like you can still see the letterings and the numbers of what that supposed number plate is at that distance. So overall, you see the colors are just, you know, they're really crisp, you know, they're really on point to actually what's happening and to the colors that you're seeing with the naked eye. So what here is, this is the nighttime shot. So this image it's brilliant. You know, you've just got a little bit of ambient and light around, but those static images are really crisp and clear. You can even see the number plates and what letters they are at that distance. So brilliant image. Now we'll do the walk test. Now you can see with the walk test, there's a bit of blurring going on, a bit of ghosting. If we freeze it there, there's no way you're going to be able to identify who that person is apart from, you know, what they're wearing. Now this is a close-up walk test. So you see that ghosting going on, but if we freeze it there, you can still see it's a little bit better. You probably make a little bit more of the facial features, but you know, clearly can see what colors someone's wearing at that distance. But once again, it's a static image that you can see. Now we'll just zoom in over to the number plates. Now I'll just make note here, this is with the camera's white LED off. So, you know, camera's got no white light LED. This is just pure natural ambient lighting around. And you can see here, this is like a brilliant capture. To capture those letters in this low level light is quite impressive here, to say the least. Now if we zoom in over to the van, like once again, like this image is, it's great. Like you can clearly see what the number plate is, clearly read the letters, everything that's there. Now what I'll do is I'll just jump into this tree line here. You can see like it's not sharp, but gives you an idea. Now that's probably about 30 meters, 35 meters away from the camera. What you can see there. And then what I'll do is I'll then zoom into our fake number plate. And once again, static image, clearly see and make out what the lettering and the numbers are at that distance. Now, just out of curiosity, I'll go put the sign further back, which I think it's about 35, 40 meters away. And we'll just zoom in here. So just to show you what 8 megapixel camera, what you're going to get at that distance. And as you can see there, you can't make out anything. You can't make out any numbers, can't make out any letters at distance. So just because it's an 8 megapixel camera doesn't mean you're going to be able to have this magnificent zoom in features, especially at long distances and range. So what I'll do is I go up and grab this sign, and you can see as I'm walking up, there's this ghosting image there. So you're never going to be able to see or clearly identify someone, especially when they're walking. Now I thought I'll just bring this sign in a little bit closer to see, maybe, you know, a bit closer, a few meters, 5 meters closer, see what we get. And then when we freeze it, you know, you can't see anything there. You can't make out anything. There's no way you're going to make out any facial features apart from, you know, identifying what color someone's wearing at that distance. Now in this next shot, this is a security guard patrolling our premises late at night. So to give you an idea of a moving car object, now it's obviously not going very fast. Maybe it's going about 15, 20 Ks, but you can see there, like, you can't really see anything or, you know, what's going on. Can't clearly make out the letters or the number plates as the car drove by. And as I got a little bit further on, I just moved the camera just to test to see 8 megapixel, what are we going to do? And then when I stop it and zoom it there, you can't see anything. Like, it's very pixelated. You just because it's an 8 megapixel doesn't mean you're going to actually capture everything in fine detail. So now this next test this is with the white light LED on. So as you can see here, it's got a different color, a different tinge now. So it's a bit more of a bluey color, and you can see the number plates in the cars. Like now you've got this white light reflecting. You cannot see what those number plates are, whereas before we could see it. And as I do the walk test, you'll see it hasn't really improved anything. There's still a lot of ghosting going on here. So, you know, the white light hasn't really improved anything. Now, the white light will only come on if it is pitch black. But in this case, we had ambient lighting before. Now, if I do the walk up close test, you can see there, you can make out some identifying features and the lettering on the jumper. But once again, it's clearly great for knowing what colors someone's wearing. Now I'll zoom over to the cars, and you can see there, can't see the number plates this time because of the white LED reflecting off the number plates. Also seems a little bit more grainier. Maybe that's just me. If I zoom in onto this other fake number plate, here you can see and make out the lettering. Now no, because it's printed on a bit of paper, there's no reflection going on here. But I pretty much guarantee if that had a proper number plate, we wouldn't be able to read it. And just for curiosity, we'll go into the van. Once again, can't see the lettering on the number plates. And then finally, I'll just zoom in up on the tree line there, just to give you an idea. And you know, once again, there's no clarity in there. This is just a reference point, so you can see what an 8 megapixel does when you zoom it in. So what are my thoughts on this camera? You know, it performs as you would from an 8 megapixel 4K camera during the day. However, with a little bit of ambient light, this camera's performance during the night is very impressive. You know, the static images are clear and crisp. But I'll get onto my thoughts about a moving object, especially at night, a little bit later. So having the ability to identify the color of a clothing or vehicle that is going by is crucially able to assist as what's going on at the premises. So the other thing is I'm not 100% sure about the Doherty parameters here and what the camera is apparently capable of, but during the day it's very plausible, but at night time it's a different story. As seen in a test, any form of movement, whether it be a person or vehicle, can cause motion blur. Now, this motion blur is very common amongst cameras, but does an 8 megapixel 4K camera actually going to help identify? You know, for static images, the extra megapixel definitely help. You know, but the only real benefit I can see now is that you can identify in colors. This camera is great for detecting and observing, especially the 2.8mm version. Just like you would with any other camera though, you first have to decide what you intend to capture or observe, you know, to ensure that you're using the appropriate lens for your case use. So if you have no ambient light around, such as a distant street light, then this white light LED will be activated and it will always be on. Because of this, you'll need to consider the position of the camera to ensure that the LED light will not affect an office or a bedroom, as that light will radiate through the window. Another benefit is almost like a night light and gives you enough light to see your surroundings. Now, it's especially helpful when you're trying to take out the bins and see what you're doing. So if you want these cameras to be inconspicuous, then unfortunately they're going to stand out with the light on. But overall, this camera does produce amazing footage, and I'm surprised just how well this camera does in both day and night, especially for those static images. So that's it for this video, and if you found this video informative, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and while you're at it, hit us up in the comment sections below for any questions you may have. ADQL, we're always here to help and support your business.